Hi guys. So, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but how are you? Anyways, I'm filming yet another video because of some stuff that's been happening to me recently, which is mostly why I record videos. I mean, that's really why I record videos. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, so that's why I'm just babbling along. There's my tree that me and Edward put up the other day, and I know I'm slightly off the center of the camera, but I don't really care. And also there's my new candy machine that I just bought that I love, and I bought it from Let Go for like $30. And it's like this really cool, like vintagey looking candy machine. Anyways, that's not the reason I'm recording today. The reason I'm recording today is because I wanted to talk about my philtrum again, my piercing, which is here. And the reason for that is because I recently just got a new job. And so that's really awesome. Leaving my old job was extremely hard. I cried a lot. And I guess that's a good thing because it meant that I had really good memories there. But I'm also excited for this new job. Everybody's really nice, and it's just a really great opportunity and a great experience so far. I've been there for like 2 weeks. Today was supposed to be my first official like on the job day, but there were some difficulties, so tomorrow will be my first on the job day, which makes sense because it's me. So anyways, the only thing though is that since I'm going to be working at a credit union, I'm not allowed to have piercings on my face. And I went into the job knowing that there was a chance that I would have to take out my piercing. And lo and behold, I did. At least I was interviewed with my piercing because I didn't think ahead and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I didn't take it out or anything. And so I was interviewed with it and everything, but then after that, I did read the policy and it said that there's no piercings allowed except for a small nose stud, which I've had my nose piercing for almost 10 years, so I can just take it out for a really long time and it doesn't matter. So that's what I've been doing just because of this little guy. So if there's less metal on my face, I figured that's better. So I've just been leaving my nose one out. Anyways, yeah, so I don't want to take out my piercing, my philtrum, because I've had it for about a year and a month, about 2 months almost, a little over a year. So in piercing years, that's not that long, and the philtrum piercing takes about 6 months to fully heal, and so it's only been fully healed for about 6 months. And yeah, so I don't want to cause any extra damage. I'm not sure if it's going to close right away if I take it out, and so I don't want to chance it. And also taking it in and out terrifies me, and I don't want to do that by myself. And I just feel like it would cause a lot of unnecessary, you know, irritation to the piercing. The piercer also told me that if I do that on my own, there's a possibility that I could create another hole and I could actually poke it through another part of my skin, and that just does not sound fun because I've actually done that with my ear before and it was a horrible experience. So I don't want to do that to my lip. And I also don't want to take it out because I know that someday if they should change the policy and piercings are allowed, there's like a 90% chance that I won't get it re-pierced. I'm not going to say 100 just because I'm impulsive and who knows, I might. But it hurt so bad that there's a good chance that I won't get it re-pierced if I have to take it out. So I'm going to try and avoid taking it out at all possible costs. With that being said, I've come up with some very interesting ways of covering it up. There is pretty much no way to hide this piercing because it's like smack dab in the middle of your face. So there's really no good way to hide it. But I will tell you my experiences. I'll tell you what I've tried. And I will tell you what I'm doing now which, as you can see, you can still see it obviously, but it is a nude color, and for the most part it pretty much blends into my skin. The only reason you can see it obviously is because it sticks out and it's metal, but for the most part it's like the same color as my skin. So at least like that's the best option that I've found so far. If I find a better option, I will update you, but for now this is what it is. So like I said, my first few days there, I just wore it by itself. Didn't get away with it. It was mentioned to me that my piercing was there, and it was recommended that I just wear a nude top. Luckily, HR said that I could try and keep it in and just wear a nude top. And so far that's been working, and nobody has said anything since I started doing this, which is like super awesome. And if this works, I'm going to be a very happy camper. So what I first did originally was I had a post in there that you could just screw the little jewel off. And so I just screwed off my beautiful green opal that I love with all my heart, and I put on a smaller jewel. It's like a green and pink opal, which I didn't really care for. That was the one I first got it pierced with, and it kind of, I just didn't really like it. So, but I decided to put that one back on because it was a lot smaller. And what I did was I went to the dollar store and I bought a nail polish that was like a nude tone, and it was the only one they had, and it was the dollar store. So I bought that one, and I got home and I just painted the jewel. I just painted it with the nail polish, and it looked a little better, but I did not go with that because it was a little too white, if you can believe it. It was a little too white for my skin tone, which is pretty darn white. And because of the fact that the jewel was so smooth and it wasn't textured at all, you could pretty much, it was still pretty noticeable. It just looked like a big white thing on my face. It didn't blend very good with my skin. The makeup didn't stay on very well because it was so smooth. So that was the first option. Didn't care for it. I think you could still, it was still pretty noticeable. So I just removed the nail polish off that, and that was that. So then option number 2, what I tried, this is all like in the span of 1 week, so my poor lip was a little irritated because I was messing with it. So after that, I just unscrewed the top, and I just left the post in there, which, if you've ever seen that, it just looks like a little metal dot on your face. So that's a lot smaller, obviously. So what I did is I got a little rubber thing, and I just like stuck it on the post instead of a jewel or anything like that. And that looked a little better just because it was a little clear rubber piece. So that actually did look a little better. But when I covered it with makeup, it actually looked okay, but then it looked like a weird little like pimple on my lip, which I was willing to just deal with because I was like, that's better than them asking me to take it out. But it was a little weird looking, and you could still see it, and it just looked kind of weird and strange. So I didn't like that. And I also didn't like the fact of not having my jewel on there. And I would drop the darn thing, the little rubber thing, and then it was almost impossible to find on the ground because it's rubber and it's clear, and it was like that big. So that was like so frustrating. So I decided to go with something easier, and I just caved in and I went to my piercers. If you're in the Albuquerque area, if you have seen my other videos, I always recommend Evolution. They're the best. They're amazing. They're nice. They remember you, but I've been in there a million times, like, so how could they not remember me? But they're very classy. They have amazing jewelry, really good quality stuff. Anyways, I can't say enough good things about them, but I recommend them. So I went there and I asked them if there was any options of a top that would look a little less noticeable. Excuse me. So what they ended up doing was giving me a little itty bitty top that is kind of like a brown color, and it's like sandstone or something, so it's a little textured, and it was kind of like a brownish color, so it's meant not to hide your piercing because, like I said, there's really no way to hide it. It's meant to more make it look like a little bit of like a beauty mark or like a little blemish or something like that. So unfortunately I had to switch out my post because they didn't have it in the little screw top ones. So I just switched out my post for a push-in one, and that's just your little post, and then you just like get the little little top and you just push it in there. And they also gave me a shorter bar, which is nice, so it's just flat up against my lip because the other one is a little long and it would stick out a little bit. So I did that for a little bit, and I asked the guy if it'd be easier to switch out, and he said, like, more or less. I mean, either way, it's going to be kind of difficult to switch out the jewelry by myself. And also with the push-in one, since it is a little post that just sticks into your post and your lip, they have to kind of bend the post a little bit so it stays in there. And then after changing it out, you know, a few times, obviously the little post gets straighter and straighter. Then you have to go back and have them rebend it again. So there's really like no easy option for this. But anyway, that was going to be probably like the easiest thing in my mind at the time. So they put that in, and it actually looked okay. You could still see it obviously, but it covered up with makeup pretty well. And then after that, it did look pretty much like a little beauty mark that was in a very strange place. And it was flat against my lip. It's very, very tiny, so it's like this little bitty brown dot on your lip, and it looked pretty good. The only problem is that I was afraid to switch it out by myself, so after wearing it for a few days, I got really bored of having it there, because, you know, the whole point of me getting this piercing here is because I want people to see it and notice it, and I want it to be like bam, because I really like the way it looks, and that's why I loved my green one. So I got really bored of the way that looked. So I went to Evolution again. I was like, help. And so they gave me a better one that was bigger, and it's like a really pretty blue. I'll take off this in a minute and you can see how it looks. But I got that one because I was just driving me crazy how plain and boring it looked. And I was just like, this is like enough of this. So I went in there and they switched it out for me. And then with the understanding that I was probably going to be wearing the little brown one throughout the week at work, and then I would probably just switch it out for this one during the weekend. But the more I thought about it and the lazier I got, and not wanting to get up that early, I decided to just try the third method, or fourth, I like lost count. The method that I'm using right now, and that was one that I wanted to try before, and so I decided to try it now and see how it would work. And also, since I have the jewelry, like I said, is pushed up more against my lip, I wanted to try this method. And that is, I present to you the Band-Aid method. Yes, the Band-Aid method. I didn't know how much this was going to work, and so I just decided to try it because what the heck, I have nothing to lose. So I went to the store again. It's just been like a big old fiasco. And I bought some skin-colored fabric Band-Aids, and they were like $1, which is awesome. So I haven't spent like a whole lot of money on this whole like ordeal, which is great. That's the good news. So I bought them, and what I've been doing, what's great about the Band-Aids is that they are fabric, so they're textured. They look just like your skin. If you cover it up with makeup, it literally blends into your skin just like amazingly because it's fabric too. So the makeup sticks really well. And as you can see, you can still see the outline of the piercing. You can still see the circle very clearly, but it is the same color, which the shadows are kind of weird right now. But in other lighting, it's like literally the same color as my skin because I use my same foundation over it, obviously, and it's already skin toned as it is. So that's the method I'm using right now. And you might think that this is all ridiculous, and maybe you have a much better idea and you've been doing something else that's much more amazing and easier or whatever. And if you have, I would love to hear from you, so please leave a comment. But for now, this has been the easiest thing that I have found that really helps me cover up my piercing the best. It looks probably a little more natural than the other things that I've tried. It is the easiest option because I'll tell you how I do it, but trust me, that's a lot easier than the other options. And it was the cheapest because you can literally use the same Band-Aid for like weeks on end, and I still have the whole box of Band-Aids. So it's going to take me a really long time before I have to buy another box of Band-Aids for $1 whole. So that's pretty darn cheap if you ask me. So what I've been doing is I just get the little Band-Aid and I just cut a little bitty circle out of it, out of the ends of the Band-Aid. Actually, I'll just go get a Band-Aid and show you. Excuse me. I don't know how to edit my videos, so when I do, you won't have to see that anymore. But for now, you'll just have to deal with my ninja skills. So this is my Band-Aid here. As you can see, there's a little hole. That's where I've been cutting. This one was too small, so I just cut that other side. So yeah, and this is the other side. Obviously, this side is a lot shorter than this side. So I've been using mostly this side over here. I've been doing this for 4 days or 5 days. And that's literally that's as much as the Band-Aid as I've used. So clearly I still have several weeks, or I don't know, maybe several weeks left in this Band-Aid, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, I just cut the sides, clearly the two sides that don't have the white part in the middle. And I leave the white part on there while I'm cutting it, and I just cut a little circle out. And I pretty much know how big my piercing is, so I just cut out a circle that's about the same size of my piercing. And then after that, when I have the little bitty circle, I just take off the little white part and then just stick it on there. And after that, I just kind of smooth out and kind of squish it on the sides, smooth out the edges, and there you go. And so then I just put on my makeup as normal, and I just put on and I get around the piercing with my foundation. And then on the piercing, I've had the piercing long enough to where it's not that big of a deal if I get makeup around the piercing. So I do that. And then I just kind of dab it a little bit with my powder foundation. And there you go. It's pretty much the way it looks now. And I've had this on all day. And it stays on there all day because it's sticky like a Band-Aid. And then after work, there you go. A beautiful little piercing. And it's super easy, and I don't have to worry about switching out my piercing. I don't have to worry about, just lost my train of thought again. I haven't had a lot of coffee today, and also my coffee maker is making a lot of noise. That's why I keep looking over there. Anyways, I lost my train of thought again. Yeah, so it's very easy. You can just put it on in the morning. It takes like a few extra minutes, if that. Super easy after you get out of work. Even in the car, like when I'm headed home from work, I'm just like, just take it off. And there you go. Your nice, new, shiny little piercing still there. And so far, like I've said, I haven't had anybody say anything about it. I haven't actually helped members yet at the credit union. Because, like I said, there was mishap today, but I guess we'll see when I start actually helping members if they say anything about it. So far, I mean, I've kind of been like seeing people because I was watching my coworker do transactions. So people were seeing me, and I literally met all of the managers already. I've already met like literally everybody that I'm going to be working with, all of my managers. Nobody has said anything. At least to my knowledge, nobody said anything. HR has not called me, and that's definitely a good thing. So, for now, I'm pretty sure this Band-Aid method is going to work out, and if it does, I'm going to be so happy, because that's going to be like the easiest thing that I found so far. So, I didn't find a whole lot of videos on covering up my philtrum, so I decided that I would just share it with you guys. Like I said, if you have a better idea and you've been doing something else to hide your piercing that is easy like this, please let me know. If not, hopefully maybe I helped you out a little bit and you can try it for yourself, see if it works. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had today. So I'm gonna go drink more coffee because I feel like I'm slowly slipping into madness, and let you get on with your day. And I hope you have a great and awesome and lovely day. And I hope this helped. So, bye!